All right. We are rolling.
Rolling.
We got some friends in tonight. Some friends we met a couple years ago, been hanging out with, is Ben and Corley Spell.
Woot woot.
Howdy.
Owners of Good Ranchers.
Yep.
I got the gear on.
Yeah. I know, you're repping. I'm repping.
Dude,
Crystal, where you
Magnus
at?
is repping.
Let's go.
I need some clothing.
I know.
Or some, you don't say gear.
You got to earn it.
Some attire.
Yeah, you gotta work for it.
Okay, I got to earn it. Okay.
Yes, you got to get jumped in the game.
All right. Okay.
Oh, she did do the lip sync battle.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You should have got shirt that day. You missed out. Dude, she was the harshest judge too.
She what? Yeah, you were savage. I remember.
I know.
Jermaine thinks you hate him.
Poor thing, I couldn't even pronounce his name right.
Were you saying Jermaine?
I don't know what I was- George or something?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yep. So we've had Ben on the other podcast with Jermaine, and being this a couples one, wanted to get you guys in.
Yeah.
Being that something we could talk about.
Yeah. We've got lots of things to banter about.
Yes.
Well, good. How long y'all been married now?
9 years.
9 years.
9 years. Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. Next.
Or on the 14th.
Happy early anniversary.
Thank you.
You have anything special planned?
We're going to the Rockies.
We're going to Colorado Springs.
Okay. That's
Oh,
up in
nice.
the mountains, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Crystal. She's really good geography.
But we're bringing all the kids.
Oh, y'all bringing all the
We're
kids?
bringing all the kids.
It's
Yeah.
going to be like a vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how many kids do y'all have?
We have 4.
Quattro.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a lot of kids.
And they're all under the age of 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I remember the last time I ran into y'all outside of church.
Oh, they're all so cute, though.
And-
but yeah, little.
Like they just,
Yeah.
one of them's running around yelling anarchy. And
Exactly.
be able to chase them around.
I know.
I know.
I love going to church, but I hate having to try to talk to people
Yeah.
at church because my kids are just running like
Yeah.
and I can't actually listen and have a engaging conversation because I'm like
They're just running.
Yeah. Well, we have to
somebody's-
like tag in and out. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you get to talk. I'll chase them.
And,
So did y'all plan on having them back to back like that?
I mean,
Or close in age?
yeah, we
Yeah.
knew we wanted 4.
Okay.
My sister has 4. He has 6 brothers.
Yep.
And all of
6
his
brothers?
cousins.
I do, yeah.
They have a really big
Yeah.
family.
God.
And-
Okay.
My dad kept trying for a girl across multiple women,
Hey, good for him.
but
He
wound
just
up
kept
wound
getting
up with
boys.
7 boys.
Oh my gosh! So you have a big family.
Yeah.
I just remember that. I just remember you talking about the 2. That's why I'm saying the.
It was
Jay-
just 2 women. I was just
Oh, okay.
embellishing the story.
That's why I tell people when we're out in public and they see us with the Busbys, I'm like, that's from 5 different dads. I
Yeah.
tell them in front of Danielle. She's like, shut up.
Oh man! So, Adam and Danielle went up to the one of the races in Indianapolis
Uh-huh.
with all the kids
Oh,
that
okay.
weekend. You
Yeah.
probably saw them go. And we got a big 8-seat golf cart to fit all of us, all the kids. We had our boys with us, and Corley and Danielle were up in the suite, and me and Adam had all of his girls, and I had my 2 boys.
Uh-huh.
Me and Adam are in the front. All the kids are piled up behind us, and this man came up and he's like, Adam Busby. He's like a big fan of the show. Can I get a picture with y'all? Took a picture, and then went to walk off, and another man walked up and he said, "That's a lot of kids." And he looks at me and he says, "Are they all yours?" And without thinking, I go to Adam. I was like, "Well, I mean, they're ours."
Oh my gosh!
Didn't even
Yeah,
register
right.
what I was saying until I drove off and I went, "Oh, I meant they're both of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have believed it if I seen you. Yeah.
yeah."
Checks out.
This was before Adam shaved his head.
Yeah.
Looking real.
Okay, so 4 kids. You wanted 4 kids.
Yeah.
When did y'all meet? So you've been married 9 years. How long did y'all?
About 9 years and 9 months ago. No.
Okay.
We had a very much of a whirlwind romance.
Yeah, we
I
met in
feel like. Yeah.
2014. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did y'all meet?
At church.
At church?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was a worship pastor before Good Ranchers.
Okay.
And I was away at college, and my family started going to that church, Grace Community Church that he was at. And so I went with them, and whenever I came back to visit, And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I fell in love with him too.
Yeah, right? Look at him.
Fell in love, dated,
Yep.
got married. We ran off to Punta Cana and eloped.
We did.
Oh,
y'all
nice.
did?
Yeah.
Yes. So I was a wedding planner, and I had a ton of brides, and I just saw everyone just pour all this money into these giant, extravagant weddings, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, you did like 50 weddings a year, something like
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
You have to be there when you do those? Like when you plan them,
Yeah.
you're there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot of work.
I worked
It's
at
a
a
lot, yeah.
venue in town, and so it was kind of like a wedding factory because they had like 4 different ballrooms, so they could have like 4 events going
Okay.
on at once. Anyway, so I just saw all these big productions, and I was like, I really can't see my family in a ballroom. Like, I'm from Louisiana too, and like we're very simple, and like that's just not us.
Yeah.
And-
Your mom starts talking about it, the tornado.
Yes. So, trying to put that in a ballroom, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I didn't want the stress of it. So, yeah, we eloped, and it was just us. And we brought 2 of our best friends who happened to be wedding photographers and a videographer. So they documented everything. And then when we got
nice.
home, we had
I was
like
about
a
to say,
small...
did y'all have a little small little?
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, ours was
We got married at the country club in Lake Charles outside.
outside.
But we had to pay for it too, so
Yeah.
it was one of those things. I was
Yeah.
like,
It's like,
real
I don't
nice.
want to pay for all this.
we got lucky because
we did
like
get lucky because we
we
did
went through
all-
like 4 different like GMs over like a
Oh,
year
yeah.
time,
Oh.
and like the third to last one, he's like, "Oh, we can do this a lot cheaper." He like cut the price like in half,
Oh,
like
wow.
to like we got married at the country club outside, had a nice dinner.
I think it was like
for, like-
3,500 or something.
No, it was like
that.
less than $6,000,
Yeah,
which
for
is
the
cheap.
whole
Oh, wow,
thing.
yeah.
At the Lake Charles Country Club.
Including food?
Yes.
And
No.
beverage?
Including
Oh.
food, and it was
And
like
so
the
the new
pricing food. It was because, and so like I kept
How many people?
I kept everything documented. Probably, I mean, both sides. I mean, it's probably
100 people maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't eat for $6,000 at Chick-fil-A right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
you ain't lying.
I know.
For 100 people?
Try to cater
Dude, I'm telling
Chick-fil-A.
you, they did a prime rib. I mean, it was
They-
like,
yeah.
so the last GM came in. He's like, well, I don't know who gave you these prices.
And so
I'm
I
like,
kept all the paperwork.
they
about-
said, well, we'll honor it, and they did it.
wow.
I mean, it was a blessing for us because
Yeah.
we're freaking young. You
How
know?
old were y'all whenever you got married?
Let's see,
24.
24, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we'll hit 17 years in October.
Yeah,
Okay.
We've been together 22
Congratulations.
years.
22 years, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, so I don't know if y'all know, but so Dale met Danielle first because Danielle dated one of his close friends, so that's how we met.
okay.
I met Danielle in high school,
Okay.
so
I
that's
thought you were
how.
about to say you dated Danielle.
No.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, I still am.
really weird.
Sister
So it's
Wives.
weird how we're all staggered. So
We're on another show.
We're let's see, we're 22. Danielle and Adam
like 20.
are 23.
Nope, they're 20 years.
No, they're
No, they weren't together longer than us.
no. I'm talking about total like being married. Oh, I'm doing the married thing, not total together. That's right.
Yeah.
So being married 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. So we've been in each other's lives for a long time.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Did y'all all move here at the same time?
No, Nick moved here first years ago. Then he hired Adam, and Adam Danielle moved here, and then I always had jobs. I was in the cell phone business, and then when I got out of that, I started working with them. But I covered everything like from Beaumont to New Orleans.
What exactly is in the cell phone business?
I was a store manager for.
Like he was a store man, but he traveled a lot.
I worked for Sprint.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I was like working.
You should say telecommunications.
Okay.
I worked in telecom.
Yeah, yeah.
People wouldn't ask anything.
I'm
They'd
not
be
that
like,
smart.
But
okay.
you were big up in it. You didn't just work at a cell phone store. You know, like you traveled, whatever that
Yeah,
title was.
It was fun, but you just kind of stuck in 4 walls. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
once I was ready to get out of it, and then I got hired on. Nick and them hired me, and then I covered everything east, so it never was conducive for me to live here, which we wanted to. And then that company we all worked for got bought out. I moved up to a bigger role, and they wanted me in Houston, which was awesome because then we moved here in 2016.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So
2016.
we were driving to Houston damn near every weekend. I mean,
Yeah.
just to be around
Yeah.
family and the kids before everybody was little, you know. So
Yeah, it's so cool
Yeah.
that you guys all stayed together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
important. We're
Yeah.
hoping we can instill that in our children to want to be friends with each other and
Yeah.
hopefully stay around.
Well, we moved my parents into our pool house. When
I
was
think your
that?
parents moved themselves into our house.
You know,
So
it's
what part
pretty
of
clear.
Louisiana are you from?
I was born in Homa.
Okay.
So my dad's side's from Homa, and then my mom's side is from Alexandria. So born in Homa, but then we moved back to Alexandria when I was little.
Oh, Alec.
Alex.
Alec.
I had a Sprint
Yeah.
store there.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so, but then we moved to Deer Park when I was like 3 or 4 and haven't
I
been
think
back
your family
since.
was like, "What's the closest city in Houston area
Deer Park.
to Louisiana?"
Yeah, that's that and
Yeah.
LaPorte.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deer Park.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my dad's side is from Homa.
Okay.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
were so I have family. I probably met them one time when I was little, but
Yeah.
I think they still have some people there.
They probably went to my grandpa's bar.
Y'all could be related.
Probably.
Down the line, you never know.
They were like
Cousins.
Duplashans or something like that. My dad's mom's side was from
Dupla what?
Duplashan.
Duplicate.
Duplicate.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of duplices over there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what part?
Baton Rouge.
You're Baton Rouge. Go
Yeah,
Tigers.
I'm sophisticated. Yes, go Tigers.
Okay.
And so y'all,
City
y'all,
boy.
y'all both in,
City boy. That's
y'all
right.
both in Texas now.
right.
Yes.
When did you move to Texas?
Right after high school, I was. I just turned 18, and I had a friend of mine who was a few years older who was his job was transferring. And he was like, "Hey, he what he really needed was help paying
Yeah.
the rent of the apartment, and he asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, sure. So hopped in a car and came to Houston, and been finding my way ever since.
Well, that's what's crazy to think. We were talking about it last week with Daniel and Adam. It's like, it's crazy how things transpire to like that got you here to what you are doing now today. Like what would have been if you stayed in Louisiana? You know,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
things are.
I'm so glad we moved because we love Texas. We would never ever move back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Texas.
I like League
Same.
City. You know, like we're in the middle of everything. You know, we're
Yeah.
45 minutes north of Houston. Then we're, I guess, south of Galveston. Is that
You got it mixed
Galveston
up.
South?
Houston's north of us. Give it
Yeah.
Galveston South.
Yeah, that's
We
what I mean.
understood.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
we just.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So it's
gotta- I
perfect.
gotta
There's
set
so
it
much to
straight.
do around here. Like in the summertime, we have friends that come over all the time because there's like, you can find something to do different
Yeah.
each night. You
Yeah.
know?
Y'all were in Friendswood, right?
Yeah.
We
It's, I mean, we're all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of these communities are
Very.
very similar. It's the Bay
Y'all
Area.
are very nice for Friendswood people. You know,
We're transplanted to
because I
Friendswood.
hear
Wait a
because
second.
you hear different things about Friendswood. You know.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
But
I had never heard of Friendswood growing up, which is odd because I feel like
It's 20 minutes from your.
yes,
Like I just hear Friendswood's like like more like a ritzy,
yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
kind of like Houston to where's like the ritzy area in Houston is that
River Oaks.
River Oaks
River Oaks.
Memorial.
Ooh, Friendswood is the
So-
River Oaks
Yeah.
of the Bay Area.
So
Said
I
no
will
one
say, with us having one being new, like we moved there in 2020. So,
But I forgot you're not from there. Y'all from Louisiana, so y'all some
Right.
Cajun people.
So we're transplants, and they don't accept us there.
No?
Friendswood.
Oh, yes, they do.
I'm just kidding. No, they're fine.
Our neighbors, Bill and Tina,
Come
are,
back to your shanties.
Yes.
have
can
been
tell
extremely
they're
welcoming of us.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
see,
they're great.
that's what. So like, whenever we moved here in the neighborhood, there's a lot of people that are from Louisiana in this neighborhood, which you don't realize
Well,
they're like LSU.
It's
fans.
heavy industry
Yeah.
right?
in this along
Yeah.
where we're at. So there's a lot of people from Louisiana that moved here.
But everybody does say how nice. Like they're like, oh, you must be from Louisiana. Or just everybody says just how nice and welcoming we are.
Yeah.
You know.
you're so nice.
Yeah. I might get in trouble for saying this, but there's a while we're on the subject of Friendswood, there's a term among some of the elite there that they call themselves 12-year seniors.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That means they went K
Means
through
they
12
went
Ooh.
to Friendswood ISD.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
so
entire
what's
time.
the term again?
A 12
12-year senior.
12-year
Do they wear like insignias? You know.
They have
Or
a
a pin?
jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Like a patch.
In Louisiana, we refer to that to someone who just stayed in the 12th grade so long they could
Yeah.
finally kicked them out when they
Yeah.
were 22.
I had buddies like that.
Yeah.
I was from Westlake, small town,
Yeah.
Very small town. Well, you know how many people?
6,000.
6,000. Yeah.
It's pretty small.
That's tiny.
We were attached to Lake Charles, so it didn't seem like a small town.
It's
so,
like from Webster or League City, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
If everybody would have gave you $1, they'd have paid for your wedding.
exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, I should have asked.
Where do these
Think
things
about
like
that.
come into your brain?
That's the entrepreneur in it, man.
You know, follow me for more
it's
money
always a
saving
math
tips.
problem.
So, okay, so you were at Grace.
Yep.
You met there.
Yeah, I was fresh off a breakup. She was fresh off a breakup.
Yeah.
and
Looking for love.
we.
And he was up on stage, and you said, "Bam,
That's him.
That's it. Yeah.
the Lord speaking to
Mama,
me."
I want that.
No, actually, I did say
I'm
to
making you a
myself, I was like, I wonder if he has a brother.
I do.
I know, he
Six
had
of 'em.
six.
Because I guess you thought that if he was a pastor, he was probably already married,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
So-
the music.
Yeah.
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 Oh, so you can sing?
I mean,
Wonderful.
Oh, you can give me lessons because I wish if I had another lifetime, I would sing.
yeah.
And that's what I told Magnus. I'm like, put me in a recording studio with sound walls. You can make me sound good with
Yeah.
equipment.
And
Yes.
listen,
Can we see that, please?
Yes.
Kiki in a recording studio?
I don't brag about a lot of things, but I'm an amazing pianist. Like
Oh, wow.
it's God really just gifted me. That's how I made a living from teenager all the way into my early 30s. And I only say that to say, being a musician, especially working at a church, you can't really, you don't make a lot of money, but you do what you love.
Yep.
And I always had a dream of having a home where I could have a grand piano and
Display.
and since Good Ranchers, we've been so blessed. And when we moved to Friendswood, man, it does sound elitist now. When we moved to Friendswood, we were at a place where we
Where
were
dreams
able
come true.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And got a beautiful grand piano that I'm just so proud of, and put it in our room.
Oh, in your room?
Yeah. Well, and right next to our room.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, again, I'm very good, and I know it's like,
Is he good?
He's very good.
That's good.
Like,
and,
he can just, like, listen to a song and then play it.
Yeah.
but
It's like Rain Man.
here's I know. Here's my point. I had this vision of just waking up my beautiful wife to beautiful music.
Or seducing her with
Yeah.
it?
Or and
All you play is the Dr.
Except-
Dre next episode.
except I'm playing the other morning, and I rarely get to play because between the business and the kids and everything we've been going through, and I rarely get to play. And I found, and then also with tiny
Just
children
look-
that we
yeah.
have, as
They're
soon as I
probably
start
having-
playing,
yeah.
they come. I could show you. I have so many videos because it's hilarious. I'll set my camera up, and as soon as I start playing, somebody comes and starts banging, or Daisy will start she'll be looking all in the camera. And anyway, so the other morning I was just playing. It was just beautiful, and Corley's like, "Can you stop?"
Here's some context.
Was it way too early in the morning?
I was like waking up. He woke me up playing scales, like not this like beautiful like ditty that you wrote. It was scales.
I had to
like
warm up.
like
Were
so
all,
loud.
were all the kids up too?
I didn't start with
No.
that.
Okay.
No, I started beautifully.
Yeah.
I saw that you were awake, and then I had to get my fingers warm.
I was so mad.
She was.
I had zero coffee.
Do you have a certain type of song? Like, what's your favorite to play? Is there a music title,
Anything Michael McDonald.
or just you just
He
like to
loves
do-
jazz.
anything.
Oh, okay.
Little yachts flute.
Yes. Yes. I have one right here. I'm really not prepared. Yeah. Anyway,
He loves jazz. I think that's just
I
the
love
Louisiana.
I love all kinds.
So, you were there, and then I know the backstory of the Good Ranchers thing. I've heard it. You say it, which
Yeah.
is really cool. I guess your background in faith. I know you kind of talk about that. That's really what led you to starting Good Ranchers.
Yeah.
And y'all were together at
Yeah.
that point. And I remember how y'all talked about how you kind of had this God telling you to.
Yeah, I thought we were going to start a church. Honestly, I thought from like my background in ministry and music and I told Corley that when we got married. Before we got married, that would have been something to drop on her after.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's like, by the way, you're going to
You're
be
a
a
preacher's
pastor's
wife.
wife.
Yeah. No, while we were dating, it was something she knew, and we got married, and then God said start a meat company, and I honestly thought it was going to be maybe just like a short stint, kind of meets to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And the first couple of years, she kept going like, "Okay, when are we starting this church?" Because she's a planner, and
Okay.
and then finally I had to tell her, "Hey, I don't think I know this is what God wants us to do, and this is what He said go do, and so until He says stop, this is where we need to really go all in." And that was in 2019. That was the second year in, going into 2020, and then the floodgates just opened up in 2020. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
No.
Like I said, I could see that's been I feel like, I've been around your Good Ranchers family. Like, man, they've been great to us. And just being...
Except Ashley didn't invite you to the 500.
She didn't.
You know what?
She's fired.
Okay.
I'll text
Too
her.
far. Too far.
Too far.
You hear that, Ashley?
Just
Ashley?
kidding. Love you,
Yeah,
Ashley.
but like I said, like I tell people, like, honestly, I was like, dude, their culture there and like the family and how much fun that you guys have, there's no surprise of success y'all been having from what I've seen outside looking in because of the family you guys
I
have, the
love
culture.
that. Whenever we participated, when we came to judge y'all for the lip sync thing, you could tell like how close of a like family, and that's what you want your business to be. Like close community. I love that y'all do stuff fun, like different. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the Christmas party. The Christmas party, we've seen a good glimpse of the craziness
Oh my gosh.
with
that
the
was so
teams
much
y'all
fun.
do,
Yes.
like
That
how
was awesome.
elaborate the stories are of y'all's
Yeah.
Yeah.
teams.
The leaf blower.
Yes, the leaf blower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a wild night. We had fun.
We
Yeah,
did.
that was good.
I can't hear the song. Oh crap! I
what
can't
was
think
it?
of
Pour some sugar on me.
Pour some
That's
sugar on me.
Without thinking of
Without
you.
thinking of you guys now.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Yes,
Spice Girls.
Spice
Yeah.
Girls.
Tell me what you want. What
Yes.
you want.
Yeah.
No, we I read a bunch of books because I knew nothing about being an entrepreneur or starting a business, and I was very versed on how to start a church, but I didn't know nothing about starting a business. And so as we began to grow and started hiring people, by the way, that was probably the biggest oversight of thinking of not realizing that when you start a business that you actually start hiring people, and then multiple people, and then dozens of people, and then dozens and dozens of people, that you look up, I forget what number of employee we were in. I went, oh crap, we're responsible for all of these like families and the livelihood of these people. We better not fail. Like we like this
It's
is a
just more
big
motivation,
responsibility. Like, and to do the right thing, to really weigh decisions and I read, I don't know where I read it, but it was and I love that y'all say family, but what I took to heart from a book I read years ago was a workplace isn't a family, it's a team.
Right.
And because you can't fire your family.
Yeah.
Right.
They're still going to come to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And y'all going to fight over politics, but you can't fire your family. But a team, you can bond together, and you have to be close.
Right.
But if you're not performing, if you're hurting your other teammates, then
Well, everybody's got to have a seat on the bus the right way. You can't
get out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, I think that we spend way too much time at work to hate where you work.
Right.
And we try everything in our power to provide
fun.
a workplace that that people feel like they have a purpose to come to, that they
enjoy going.
Yeah.
And going along with that, like whenever we were rolling out and creating the benefits for our employees, that was really important to us, because I mean, you spend more time at work than you do at home sometimes. And so we just wanted to make sure that when these young, because you see a lot of our employees are super young, which is great. We love that. But they're starting to have babies and start having families. And we just wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. They were supported when that time came. And so we have awesome maternity, paternity benefits for them and things like that. So
our CFO thinks it's too much.
That and y'all got nepotism on the lock at y'all's place.
hey, you know,
But it's hard to find good people. So when you can find good people that
Treat 'em
already
right.
can come right in and feel like a part of the team, part of the community.
We've had our share of firing family though.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been really hard,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, we have to do what's
Remember,
best
I've got
for good
6
ranchers.
brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So only one of them works.
So do
Yeah.
do you help out, or you're kind of just in the back of it?
Now that we've had,
Just
4
more people?
children and stuff that I've been going through, like I've definitely taken a step back. I used to be really involved. Like I love marketing and I love strategy for that, like new podcast or new audiences that we can reach and how we can reach them, and just being dynamic with that. But I've definitely taken a step back now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you always have a entrepreneurial spirit, or you don't think that? You think that came along with?
I'd never thought about it until and honestly, until meeting Corley and talking about childhood and stuff, and I was the kid in junior high, having my parents bring me to Walgreens so I could like buy candy bars and stuff, and then turn around and sell them at school. I didn't think about that as being.
Yeah.
I was just hustling.
I wanted money. I did the same thing.
Money, I didn't have a business plan.
Yeah.
That's just like when we were dating. If he was tired or something, he would sell it.
Oh, everything's for sale.
Yeah.
Everything's for sale. Still to today.
Well, my dad was always like that.
Yeah.
He's like, man, keep your stuff. He always keeps his stuff nice. He's like, hey, man, everything's got a price. If something.
Yeah.
But I always was the same way. I would buy stuff for field trips, and I'd sell candy.
Nice.
We'd be flipping quarters. We got in trouble for that.
Always trading.
Always doing something. Yeah. Always wheeling and dealing.
That's like Ashley's little boy, which is my nephew. He was selling candy last year, Smartie candies. He made like $150 selling them at school.
Yeah, and he's selling cologne now.
Yeah, we saw him selling cologne now.
He's on the cologne now.
We were talking about one day,
funny.
and so Nick's like, I gotta go run to Walmart because he has these certain size. I'm like, for what? For cologne? I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's my expensive Truckwear Noir.
Yeah.
and I forgot how much he made. I didn't ask
No,
him.
but like I said, that's a part of it. I guess that's something you think about. Like you don't think about it at the time. You're just like, I'm just trying to make some cash.
But that's not ingrained in everyone.
Do
Right.
stuff.
You know, there are some people that they do better working for someone or whatever that looks like. But I mean, it's definitely, I mean, look, he's a natural. Like, this is clearly your calling. And then I came from entrepreneurs myself. My dad, whenever we moved to Deer Park, he worked for a company for a while and then eventually branched off and started his own thing when I was like in junior high or high school. And then my brother has his own business. My sister started her own business when she was younger, and then I had my own wedding planning business as well. So whenever he approached me and was like,
So I guess I felt the peer pressure of your family. I was like, well, I guess I better.
Like, what's this loser gonna do?
Right?
right.
Exactly.
hey y'all, I'm gonna sell meat. They're like, okay.
Different types of meat.
Yeah. So
Yes, cow meat, chicken meat.
So did you started selling this stuff like in the
Out of the back of a truck.
just like
in the
junior
parking
high
lot,
days,
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
just
dude?
hustling it.
No, God's been good, man. It's
Yeah.
it's been crazy to just I've been and this is the pastor in me, but I've been really just kind of dissecting the last few years and something I'm going to start talking about more is when God says go. Don't
second guess it. Don't
Don't
question.
second guess it. When God says go. And people say, well, I don't know how do I know if I'm here for God? You know.
Mm-hmm.
When God's speaking to you, you know. There is no question. And if you really got to question it, then it's probably not God. But when God speaks to you, when there's something you're thinking about, dwelling over, mulling over, praying about, whatever it is, when God says go, you should go. And you don't have to have all the plans. I mean, you should definitely use your brain and try to plan. But if you wait for everything to be perfect, it's not going to happen. You just got to take one step, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, and keep listening and keep going. And that's, at least that's been our story. I mean, we had the business plan was sell meat out of the back of a truck in a parking lot. And I thought, okay, well, God, you try to put your own plan in it. And I thought, we'll do this for a year or two, make some money, and then start a church. And then we look up 6 years. Wow. We look up 6 years later and we've built a large business with, I think we have 55 employees now, but hundreds of contractors, but across, I mean, we ship to all 50 states, and we partner with hundreds of farms and ranches, and so we started saying this years ago, do good, eat good, and then it's kind of evolved recently to we're for profit, for purpose. Again, because I come from the nonprofit world, I come from the church world, and I always thought that was what I was going to do. And life's too short to just make money. It's what are you doing with that time, and what are you doing with that money? And if you're not doing good, if you're not helping the people around you, if you're not providing, then it's empty. And that's what they mean when people say money doesn't buy happiness.
Right.
You know, it doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy jet skis. And I've never seen anyone sad on jet skis.
Exactly. It's true.
Amen.
But there's a lot of people with a lot of stuff who are miserable. Because
Yeah. They're empty.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Stuff will never fill the void. You have to have more than that. You have to have purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad said the same thing when we were married and we decided like we're gonna have kids. You're like, man, we were struggling young, you know. And he's like, man, he goes,
Y'all actually planned it? You were like,
yeah, we were married like 3 years before we had kids. But my dad was like, hey, man, if you're gonna try to wait till the best time to have kids, you're never gonna have kids. He's just, you're never gonna have enough money or this or feel that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you just got to go and you're gonna figure it out. And that was kind of one of the things like, okay, well, that kind of goes along with everything, you know, like even taking jobs. I was like, okay, I don't know if I was ready for this, but I'm gonna figure it out. It's kind of one of those things you're like.
I think, and I'm very careful how I say this, because you should go to school, you should plan, you should save, you should do those things, but
it's kind of hard when sometimes you're not taught that, you know.
Yeah, well, but also I think so many people are missing out on relationships because they're not focusing on them young, because they feel like, oh, I got to focus on my career, I got to focus on me, and again, I say this with a lot of balance between it, but I mean, yeah, and people are waiting till later because they're trying to do the fiscally right thing of waiting until they're financially set, but you're not guaranteed that your biological clock's going to allow you to have kids later, and it's just, again, a lot of grace and a lot of balance in that statement. I'm not saying go get married in high school or freshman in college, but I agree with what your dad said 100%. Like there's never a perfect time for anything, and quote I read recently in a book is it's not really applicable, but I'll say it. There's never a right time to do the wrong thing.
I love all these quotes. I'm about to write them down. I already forgot them, but good is something.
Did you have a mentor or anything from you, or you feel like it was just you're more faith led for what you've done?
Very faithful. I've been so my dad remarried. My dad and mom got divorced when I was maybe 10, and then I went and lived with my mom for a little bit, and then I kind of bounced around between my dad and my grandparents, and that's why right after high school I wasn't very rooted there anymore, and so I came to Houston, and I got really plugged into a church in Pearland, which is the poor man's Friendswood.
I've heard that. It's on their water tower.
Oh my gosh! If you live in Pearland, I lived in Pearland for a long time, and it is an amazing city. Absolutely love it.
What about Lake City?
Yes, Lake City. Everywhere over here. That was completely a joke. It's actually it's an inside joke, and I shouldn't have told it.
We're just gonna clip that one part out, put it out there.
Yeah, right. I don't even know what I was talking about.
Mentors.
It was just blessed. The church that I was going to in Pearland became really close to the pastor's family, and he really shaped me a lot as a 18, 19-year-old, and I got really involved. Then I started working for the church, and so he really was probably like the first like actual father figure of a man in my adult life, and he was a CPA by trade, so he really helped me a ton. And then when I got to Grace, the leadership there was amazing, and they poured into me, and that's when I started reading books, and they were like, hey, read this book and read this book, and I was like, who is John Maxwell? And like a lot of the quotes I have are John Maxwell.
I mean, he's written a bunch.
And then right after we started the business, I met a business advisor who I still have a great relationship with. His name is Doug, and he's about 30 years my senior, and he lets me know every day how
disappointing you are.
Yes, how disappointing I am.
I'll tell you. You call me. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I know. And
Is he all like a board member? Think of it.
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is now. I put a board of advisors together to help oversee as we started growing and making sure it's a lot of responsibility. So,
Yeah.
So how hard has it been, like balancing your life, like family life, with the growth of the business? Because it seems like y'all been on the last few years. The trajectory of what I've seen, has just been.
Yeah. Well, our very first year, and that's when we knew, okay, God's had this. I mean, I set out, by the way, anyone listening, and I don't mean this in any type of condescending way, but the amount of money you bring in revenue is nothing close to what you take home in a business. There's
a lot of cost of business. There's a lot of...
But people sometimes say here, and Shark Tank has done a really bad job of like, well, what's your revenue? And they're like, oh, you're making, like, if your revenue is $1 million, you're making $1 million. You got a business making $1 million a year. But like, doesn't mean the business is even profitable, let alone like take anything home. That said, our very first year with me, we had just had our new firstborn baby boy.
When did y'all have y'all's
We did
first
$5
one?
million in sales our very first year, and wasn't even a full year of with selling meat out of the back of a truck, and then calling one of my buddies from Louisiana and another buddy and one of my brothers and saying, hey, get over here, and then just not knowing anything about anything. So that's when we realized, oh, maybe we might be onto something here, and then that's when I met Doug, who's now an advisor, and he just every day showed me how little I knew about anything.
There's a lot more. There's a big unsexy side of owning a business, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that's.
Yeah, and you're kind of always on. You're always working. So growing a family at the same time we're growing this business, it has. I mean, it's definitely had its challenges, but it's also had its benefits. With, the first few years, I mean, we were working out of the home, and so being able to have him there while I had, the babies, like, that was really nice.
What year was Daisy born?
Our last baby was born in 2022.
22. I had to, in my brain it was 23, and I was like, that doesn't add up.
2022.
2022, yeah.
She's two.
She's two. Last year, 2023, this is the reason I asked, because I was making sure my math was right. 2023 was the first year of the business we didn't have a newborn.
Yeah.
Because every single year for the first 4 years, pregnant, newborn, pregnant, newborn.
Yeah.
And
it's just what we did. It was like, another year of business. Here's another kid.
Yeah, it's a reward.
So now you're done with babies, right?
Yes,
right.
Yes.
And so it probably feels weird if you were pregnant.
Yes.
What, every year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I just knew two is plenty, you know.
When
like we're each
two and through.
Even if it would have been two girls,
Yeah, I was like, if I got two girls, I'm good with two, because me and Mackenzie were together for 2 years before we had Bronson. I was like, if we got another girl, dude, she's been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm all good with being a girl dad.
Our babies
girls are cool.
My girl,
Yeah.
I love my boys, I had a good pregnancy, good sleepers. I mean, they slept from 6 to 8 weeks old all night. So
That's
I had good babies. They didn't have
Yeah.
indigestion. They weren't sick because I breastfed for a year and a half. Like I didn't have any of that.
A year and a half.
I was
awesome.
a cow. You can ask Ashley and Danielle were so jealous because they did not produce. Like I had my freezer full, Dale's mom freezer full, and Ashley's mother-in-law.
Were you selling it, Dale?
No,
Awesome.
I used it all. I say I
Protein
breastfed
shake.
for a year and a half, and then I probably had another close to probably 5 months of milk left. Like it was crazy. So I felt bad when we would go to dinner and have a few drinks, because it's like, damn, I'd have to pump and dump, and I hated that for how much you had to. And I was like, nope. And it was so crazy because at the time, I got indigestion or something from eating. Anytime when I would take my milk out, and if the baby was upset, remember, I would be like, all right, that was a night I ate Mexican. I just didn't know, just by pumping, and you would put it and you'd feed them. Remember, he or she would be fussy.
Corley's remedy for everything was put some breast milk on
it.
Yeah.
He's like, my eye itches. I'm like,
have you ever tasted it? Because whenever Ashley had hers, they were like, I don't know what made me taste. It's like, I'll taste it like you would taste your shit. And I was like, I don't know what it tastes like. Just taste it sweet. It's just.
Yeah, it tastes like nothing.
Yeah, it tastes like nothing.
It's like sugar water.
Yeah, that was I mean, that was decades ago, but I'm sure it still tastes the same.
Yeah. I'm sure. Unless you had spicy food.
Yeah,
It's a little
exactly.
Spicy. Caliente.
Should have kept some, turned it into butter.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I know. So,
I guess you add flour to make it thick or something.
No, you churn it.
Oh, okay.
It's not making a cake.
So how was there a vision early on that you felt like, man, this could be what it is today, or was it still kind of like every day you're like,
We're still building we say in the office, we're building the plane
As we're flying it.
Yeah.
as we're flying it. Like we did, like we would
Sometimes
have
it's held on with duct tape, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Shoestring?
Yeah, early on, we started having the vision of getting online, being a competitor.
Are y'all a competitor to any other meat company?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're
Like
by
the
far
what's the
not
butcher
the
box or
biggest.
something?
Can't name them. Come
This
on.
is-
You can't name
Crystal.
them? Okay.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
you
a-
can't?
They
No.
import
Okay.
import
Okay.
almost all of their beef from Australia. So
Okay.
Can I share the cool story about the insider info you just got from Omaha's
yeah.
conference?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Off camera, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool because I mean, Omaha Steaks has been around for 100 years. They're over 500 million in revenue annually. I mean, they're a massive company, and
I don't think we've ever had that before.
at a recent
No, yeah.
I can't say how it's known to us, but they consider us one of their biggest competitors.
Oh, wow.
That they're
And
one
they've
of their
been
biggest
around-
threats
oh, wow.
that they're worried about.
That's cool.
And so
They don't know.
At least you're on the radar. That's
Yeah.
always good.
yeah.
And they spotted you, and they know.
Yeah. Well, it was probably after that cease and desist for all those blogs Michael wrote about them.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All we do is we give Michael's these targets, and then he just gets behind his keyboard.
Yeah. We haven't got a cease and desist from a competitor in a while,
Dude, you gotta.
Mike.
Mike needs to step his game up. It's always good to piss people off every once in a while, you know.
Better to be pissed off than pissed on.
You ain't lying. So what?
So many quotes for
How
you.
was the name? How did you come up with Good Ranchers?
Because we wanted to be the Jolly Ranchers.
Great
but
Ranchers was taken.
There was trademark infringement.
Oh, really?
No.
No, I think the Good Rangers has to be something with that quote. The good.
Yeah. Well, the quote
Do
came
good,
later.
good.
Yeah, do
No, we
good.
were just sitting.
Okay.
We were sitting around and talking. And honestly,
Spitballing.
who we are as a we did not think that we would be an advocate for American farms and ranches. We didn't think that we would be doing supporting veterans and supporting food banks and families in need and all like the multiple nonprofits and stuff that we're able to give to. Honestly, the name was kind of prophetic. Honestly,
sure.
because we were just trying to think of a catchy name. Didn't think this was catchy name to sell meat in a parking lot for a couple years, make some cash, go start a church.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible when I say it that way, but
Well, it takes money to start.
So
a
at the
church.
time,
Yeah,
when
I mean, it's-
but at the time when y'all were selling out the truck, y'all didn't have a name. You were just
no, we were Good Ranchers
Oh,
before.
y'all were?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was the LLC that was
from the
formed.
beginning. yeah.
okay.
And we just man, we're having fun, and it's a blessing to do what we do and eat lots of meat. I went carnivore in January.
Yeah, you dropped some pounds.
I did, like
Yeah.
20,
I think
20
that
plus.
That'd be hard to do.
Annoying.
Just strictly just eat meat.
He lost like 20 pounds in a month,
Well,
and I'm
that's-
doing carnivore, and
It's
I
like-
gained 5. It's like cool.
Cool.
I know that goes to show you the difference between men and women.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
You
everybody's body's different too, though. It's just.
You don't have to make me feel good. It's fine.
No, I'm saying I know.
Yeah, babe, you lost weight this year too.
Yeah, I did keto.
Yeah,
Keto worked well for me. Carnivore was not for me, but keto has been great. And I stopped drinking wine, so that helps too.
Alcohol's a big part. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
that helps.
I would work out every day, but if I'm drinking through the week, like nothing happens. So.
Right.
yeah. Those COVID years really packed on the.
That's
Packed
it.
on the
That's I
pounds.
know that's what we talked about because during the COVID years we were just outside doing potluck meals, just sipping
Yeah.
all with the
I lost
neighborhood.
weight
That's all
during
we
COVID.
did.
What?
I don't know
Because I started working out with a buddy.
I was gonna say,
Instead of the
yeah.
gym,
I don't know what I did. I probably
the gym
lost
closed
pounds.
down. So my buddy I worked out was
I was still
ex-Marine.
working. out there,
You're doing
too.
like out.
I started working out at his house, and he had me running, which
That's
I
right.
hated. And
Yeah.
but dude, I actually
Yeah.
I got in better shape because it changed my routine up of just going to the gym, just the same old boring thing and over. I kind of hate it as I was getting older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of went the other way, which was, it was good for me.
I think my philosophy on running is if we were meant to run, why do we have trucks?
That's right. Amen, brother.
I don't see the connection with that.
That's over my head. I'm blind. So if we were meant to run, what?
We wouldn't have
We
trucks.
wouldn't have trucks.
Was that just like a redneck thing?
We drive.
Because trucks go fast because y'all drive all the time.
I just don't like to run.
Yeah.
No, running
I'm with
sucks.
Dale. The people that
Dale hates
the
to
people
run.
that enjoy running.
Psychopaths.
Yeah, it's like they're psychopaths. It's
Like, what are you running from?
yeah.
Well, I used to be a big time runner. I mean, I know Dale's gonna be like, oh my god, here we go again. But I
30,
don't-
30 years ago.
Scientifically, women
Yeah,
are
you did
built
track, right?
for running more than men are. Y'all can. I mean, at least I read it once in a book. It might not be.
Sexist.
It might not be true,
I
but
love all these books.
but,
And quotes.
but yeah, no, they say they say that women
Bell.
like you're what's it called? There's
Boobs?
yes. Yes.
Pointing to the boobs.
Yeah. Your endurance. You're built more for endurance to be more like an endurance athlete.
Thank
Probably
you.
childbearing.
I received that.
Yeah. It's probably something to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's okay. So, y'all started in 18?
Yep. 18.
And then you had first kid what year?
20. Well, into 2017 was our first. Was when Bear was born. Then
Okay.
we started in 2018. Then Wilder came in 2019. Scout came in 2020. Daisy came in 2022.
Okay. So, how much did that how much did having kids change, I guess, your mindset on the business? Did vice versa, you parent better or you parent different after running a business versus?
Yeah, for me, I don't think we've ever even talked about this, but for me, because we had Bear in 2017, end of it, and then we just started Good Ranchers in 2018, and then Wilder came in February of 2019, which was like just starting that year. And I remember taking him home and holding him as a baby, and the weight of, you got 2 kids now and a family, you can't fail.
Yeah.
Because at this time it was still just us, and like
It's a new driver.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was really the momentum and just of like you gotta
This better work.
you gotta
Make it
get
work.
your act together.
because we're having another one.
And-
We're having another one.
and then we had
Guess
a-
what?
and
I'm
then-
pregnant again.
And we had another one.
Not to add any more pressure, but
And
Yeah.
we said we wanted 4, and then but after the third wrecked our world. And I tell people this all the time. Like, in fact, one of our employees is pregnant with their 3rd right now, and they older 2 are it's about the same age as Bear, Wilder, and like they're gonna have 3 under
Is the
3.
third one a girl or a boy?
Yeah.
A girl.
And
just like ours.
And
yeah.
the 3rd one just absolutely wrecked our life. Like, you go from man to man to zone, and
yeah.
it's
Outnumbered.
you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
She refused to talk for the first
COVID, man.
Yeah.
Those COVID babies.
probably but she would just like make sounds and demand
Just
you
yell
to
at
do
you.
things. I think I have PTSD.
Well, it's crazy how that affected everybody, even children that had no idea what was going on. But
I know.
that stuff could trickle down to children
Yeah.
that it's not directly affecting, but
Yeah.
it's crazy how that could affect the kid.
Yeah, and then baby Daisy just runs the house now, and by the 4th you just give up. Honestly,
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
the
did.
other 3 are like raising her essentially.
There you go.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but the first 2, the boys, and then even with Scout, like it's like very strict diet, very strict on what like screen time, like as far as like watching a movie or something or a show, like. I mean, extremely strict. And with Daisy, we're just like,
Here.
Whatever.
She's probably watching Terminator with the kid.
Yeah,
Right now.
definitely watching
Like-
Terminator.
Eating Cheetos. We don't even have Cheetos. She's like smuggling them.
Yeah.
She's like running a prison. I'm
Dude.
telling you.
Someone
She's got a
recently-
shank in her pull up.
You got a shift.
Someone asked us recently, like, out of your children, like, what roles would you see them in your business, your family business? And I think Daisy's the CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she like takes you out and then she takes over the company.
She has a meeting like kids. Our
Yeah.
guys.
No.
Dad's got to go.
Scout.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah. No. One of the other three would be the CEO. She would go start her own business as a competitor
Get right down the road.
to overthrow the
Yeah,
empire.
Yeah. Better
Show you
ranchers.
daddy,
Yes. Yeah.
Better ranchers.
Best ranchers. Didn't think to get that URL 30 years ago, Dad.
Ha
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Yeah,
about-
I mean, they're young, but I'm sure it's crazy. You kind of think about that. You're like, okay, man,
I know.
will this be a business that we keep for the longevity to where it is a family thing,
Right.
that generational? Like, this could be a generational business, or it could be a business that you get out of one day and sell. You never, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said,
Sure.
it's kind of one of those
You
things
never
you're just
know.
going to follow what God tells you to do. But
Yeah. Right now we're head down and just continuing to take the steps and do what he says. But yeah, if you don't build a business worth selling, then you didn't build a business worth anything.
Yeah.
So you want to put the
quote.
processes and the people and the
Sounds like one of his own.
well, Doug has instilled that in me. He's like, you don't want to think about selling ever,
you got to be positioning
but you've
to
got to
that.
build
Right.
the business
Yeah.
Option open.
to otherwise it won't be worth anything, because you have to be built to scale and to keep growing. So
Mm-hmm.
So I know you talked about not being like you guys being the steward for American ranches and things like that. Was that always a vision, or that just kind of came when you were building? Like, hey, how can we
dude, I'd never even cooked a steak
do
before we
something?
started
Me either. To this day.
yeah.
I don't.
It's so
cook.
easy.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
cook.
so easy. No, it came along. It came when we learned that there was no country of origin labeling law for beef or for pork in the U.S., and that over 3 billion pounds of beef gets imported every year and sold with the product of USA sticker on it, because you don't have to label. You don't have to label beef or pork of as far as what country it came from, as long as it was packaged in the U.S.
US.
So even if it says USDA inspected, which is, I mean, they're all going to be USDA inspected, but now they're even opening up they're opening up Mexico and Canada, but a large amount of Mexico. The grocery stores sell tons of beef from Mexico, by the way, like feedlots of Mexico. But to get a USDA grade, meaning like everything we sell is upper choice or higher.
Mhm.
So to get a USDA grade, it used to be it had to be born, raised, and harvested to be anything can be inspected, but to get a USDA grade, that had to be born, raised, and harvested in the U.S. Well, they've now opened up Mexico and Canada imported beef from those two countries, that as long as they're in the U.S. for 90 days before slaughter, they can get a USDA grade.
They just keep adding these loopholes, and,
I know.
and
So
like, hey, if
misleading.
you know somebody from United States,
Mhm.
just we'll give you the.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to get to where it's like,
Yeah, because the I should know this right off the top of my head, but at least the top two meat packers in the world are Brazilian owned or South American owned. I think it's or two of the top three, I think, is what it is. But so
Yeah,
you know.
so they're like they have no interest in keeping like things that we care about as U.S.
Yeah.
citizens. Like,
yeah, no, I mean there are other things that go into play, like we are trying to feed a whole nation. We are trying to
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's discount cuts and
yeah, but you
different
still have
things.
to. I think you
But
should still have to say where it's
absolutely yes, you should. We believe
yeah, it shouldn't be misleading
yeah.
or like pulling the wool over.
Mhm.
Our stance is, I mean, the best beef in the world is raised in the United States, and I will stake my claim on that. I will never go to a restaurant, and this isn't because I'm just like proudly American. Like it's a taste test. Like I'm off topic, but pet peeve. is at steakhouses, like they try to push the Japanese Wagyu, like the A5 Wagyu or the A7 Wagyu, and it's like, it's only because it's the most expensive. It's okay, like it, but you don't want to eat a whole steak out of that. It's just all marbling. Like it's all marbling. It's so like a bite or two, but like
It's like eating like a stick of butter.
it's like eating a stick of butter. But they try to sell us on it. And you want to talk about a cow that's never had a blade of grass in his life, let alone actually grass fed. But nobody even talks about that. If it's Wagyu, it's like, oh, it's Wagyu.
It's okay,
Let me
babe.
It's
pay
just
$200
It's
for
just
it.
yeah.
You can let it go, babe.
Brand-
I can't let it go.
Let it go.
No.
No, hey,
So how do you?
Grinds my
I guess
gears.
you got to stay up on your research and stuff.
that's your what's your beef.
Yeah.
Sponsor for Good Ranchers.
Ooh.
He's always.
You got to stay
Yeah.
up on your research.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you do. Yeah.
He reads all the time. He's always looking at,
So I guess y'all don't go. Do y'all
latest
go
stuff.
out to eat often, or if you do, you won't get a steak, or you'll get something else.
First of all, I love to go to steakhouses because it's.
What's your favorite? If you had to choose to a restaurant, what's your favorite restaurant to go to eat a steak?
I like B&B Butchers.
Well, that place,
B&B and Butchers is good.
It's really great.
Yeah.
that carpetbagger appetizer.
Oh, but the place we just went in.
It's like a fried oyster with the beef. Oh man.
Is it Pier 13 in Galveston? Ocean 13?
Number 13.
Number 13.
Oh, number
They-
13 is
They got
good.
them dries,
They
wet
do a
steaks.
great job. They do
My
a great
favorite
Okay.
thing. My favorite thing
The
there is those
popover-
popover muffins.
Yeah.
Dale used to make those all the time.
I bought
You
I
make
bought the, I
them?
bought
He
the I
used
bought the
to.
pan on Amazon and I got
Is
the
this
rest.
a COVID thing?
No, it was
I don't
before
know. He
that.
got into
Okay.
bread making. I don't know.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's fun.
those things. There's only like 4 ingredients, and they come out awesome.
Oh yeah, exactly. It
Okay.
tastes exactly like that.
I got the pan on Amazon for like $13.
All right. Can I borrow
Nice.
it for 4th of July?
Okay. Wow.
Just kidding. I'm keto.
So I haven't ate bread or sugar in like 3 months now.
Yeah, I was about to say probably.
How do you
close to
feel?
3
Are you
months.
like?
I've lost like 12 pounds.
It's right. As soon as you
I
cut
just,
out.
it's funny like that. And then like just this past weekend, we were out of town. And I'm still good about not eating like bread. I did eat some more. I did eat some sugar, but it's funny like how much even like my face cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
And then just this past weekend, between eating out I ate some ice cream, and then we ate some cookie cake for my birthday the other day. Like I had a
Yeah.
couple
Pigged out
things
Sunday on
pop in my
cookie
face. I'm like,
cake.
dude,
Yeah.
that's
Big
the
Daddy's
sugar.
41.
That's the sugar. But I'm telling you, like it was just. But
And,
I feel
like,
way better. Like a lot of
He was in the-
information
he
has been
was TMI. He
going.
was in the bathroom. He was like, I shouldn't have ate that. I've been eating good, but we've been gone for a week. And
Oh, yeah, tummy troubles.
A little bit.
You okay?
he ate the sugar.
Yeah, it's just, but you realize like there's no nutritional value to that.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna cut this out. It's been pretty easy, and then when you see the results, you're like, oh man, this makes a lot of sense. To where,
Yeah. And then whenever you eat it that first time again, though, it's like the cravings. It's like cocaine.
Yep.
I imagine. I have never done cocaine.
So good comparison.
allegedly.
It is like an addiction, though. Like you're like, oh my gosh, I need more sugar.
Well, that's the bad thing about it. Like it makes you want to eat more of it,
yeah.
and that's the same with alcohol. Like we drink alcohol. When you do that, it leads to more bad decision because you're like, oh man, I'm gonna eat this because you're kind of
Yes.
you got that
let's
hunger.
go to Taco Bell,
Yeah.
make that run at 2 a.m.
You're,
or whatever.
you're creating
Bad.
the
$29 later.
bad habits come from that as
Yeah,
well.
that's
So
true.
Pintos and cheese, add rice, baby. That's what I would eat.
There it is. There's the order.
Pintos and cheese, add rice, and 2 soft taco supremes, no tomatoes.
Yeah. I invented the double decker taco.
Oh, you
by the
did?
way. Yeah.
Is
back
that
in
what
the
you
day.
did? I think so.
I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been years since we ate Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Ben just had it recently.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not telling that story.
You don't want to know what kind of meat that is he ate.
I
It
don't.
ain't meat.
I don't.
He's like, I was just doing
It
research.
was the only thing open at 2 a.m. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I forgive you. But your tummy didn't.
Yeah. I had been traveling. I was flying back home in that night, and we sat on the runway. I was starving because I was planning on eating dinner when we got home. And then I was coming home from Philadelphia, and sat on the runway forever. Well, the flight was delayed. Then got on the runway, and you know how this goes. Like,
Yeah.
they just sat on the runway, then didn't land in Houston until like midnight, and then sat on the runway for an hour and 45 minutes waiting for a gate to open up, and
Yeah, that's the worst.
and so
Those lead to bad decisions.
Terrible.
it led to bad
Yeah.
decisions. It led to bad
Yes.
decisions. And I DoorDashed Taco Bell, and it was like, as soon as I Ubered home, and as soon
He
as I
like handed it
pulled
off
in,
to you.
Yeah, they were there. I was like, I timed that perfectly.
Dude.
I regretted it. It was terrible.
It was meant to be if it happened that easy, though.
Yeah. They didn't give me any sauce.
Oh.
It was $29. 4
Forget
tacos.
And it doesn't taste the same without sauce. You got to have that sauce.
Yeah. You got to mask it in the MSG.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I have a question. We were talking on the way up here because the name of your podcast is Happily Ever Banter, and what's y'all's biggest beef with each other? We'll go there since it's
Biggest beef?
Beef.
yeah. What's your banter beef?
Banter beef.
I know, because Dale's the one that came. We had different. I forgot the different names you came up with, but you were like, "This is."
No, actually, Vito. So my buddy Vito that does like our artwork for our other podcasts, and he does all our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I'm thinking of doing a podcast. He's in Canada. I'm like, hey, we're doing me and Chris are gonna do the podcast. I'm not gonna get serious about it until I got a name.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, we've been together for a long time, love each other a lot, we talk a lot of shit, blah 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 blah. Like, I kind of just gave him these things, and like he sent me like 5, and one of them's Happily Ever Banter. I'm like, dude, that's perfect, because
so
we're always just cutting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good name. And it wasn't taken. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Trying to find.
That's amazing.
There's so many podcasts.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think.
You think there's no podcast that has this name?
HEB.
There's 4 of them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing, and that kind of how I was like, it kind of, I guess, encapsulated our relationship,
Yeah.
because I'm never serious, and then we've been together so long, we just
feed off one another.
We go back and forth.
Yeah.
We
What's your biggest beef?
I know. I'm trying to think. Haven't we talked about this before? I mean, not my biggest beef, but one of them is something simple like the trash can.
yeah, I don't bring the trash.
You don't
away.
bring the trash can out. I do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And
What
my
is
neighbor
wrong with
She's,
you?
she's,
times a
add,
week?
she's adding
Yes.
days. It's Monday and Thursdays.
I was about
Babe,
to say, yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can
Wait.
still. Wednesdays is like recycle days or whatever. Thursdays heavy
recycle.
days. We don't recycle, but
It
you can
all
still
goes
put
to
out.
the same
But the
place.
people in the neighborhood, our friends down the road, they're like, sometimes I'll leave it out on purpose, and he'll text and be like, "All right," I'm like, "I'm seeing it." He just doesn't pick it up or take it out, and he knows. And you know what? I should change it up and have Bronson bring it out. you
He's
know?
old enough.
There you go.
But-
There you go.
I'll leave that sucker out and. No, or he'll take
like,
the trash,
Crystal, you gotta get the
or
trash
at least
in.
take the trash, or at least take the trash out the bag. But then you go to put something in the trash can, the bag's not in there.
Yes.
Now
yeah.
that's yeah, that's mine.
It's just part
Yeah,
of it.
if you're not going to like roll it out to the street, the least you could do is replace the bag.
She enjoys it. Yeah, she wouldn't have anything to gripe me about.
And
I'm
then every
perfect
now and
other
then
than
I'll
that.
do it, like, because sometimes in the morning if I don't forget to, because I usually put it out the night before, but sometimes when I wake up, if I don't put it out the night before, I'm like, oh my God, I hear the trash can. Then I'll go to the garage and I'll see it. I'm like, that makes me smile. That's only a handful of times, so
It's a little blessing.
yeah, it's a little blessing when he does it. But that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest beef is the trash can.
It's her love language. Trash can.
Trash cans.
You're probably shocked.
Yeah.
You're
Don't
like,
say
what?
I love you. Just say trash can.
Trash can.
Trash can.
What is
Yeah.
mine?
Huh?
For you?
Dude, you do so much. It bugs the shit out of me.
Okay.
But she brings the trash can out.
But she
I know
brings
it
the
covers
trash-
all
You're
of
probably
it.
like, damn, he don't bring the trash can out. But
No.
you better believe it. There's a lot of people, women out there that do that.
Well, I'm for equality. I don't want to take away your joy. You really, you wouldn't have anything.
I mean, it's become a habit now, so I don't mind it. It's my routine. I do it now, you know.
yeah.
That's funny.
Dan's like, what?
Babe, what's your beef?
You go number 2 with the door open.
Okay.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Oh, or every
Seriously?
That
no,
face.
or this is every time I'm like, I'm gonna go shower. He comes on in. I gotta use the bathroom. We have 4 other bathrooms,
Yeah.
and why?
I
This
want to be
one.
next to you.
Why do I
Yeah.
want to hear you shit and smell it? I'm like, turn the fan on and shut the door.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to him. Like, it's a terrible time to talk to me.
Oh my gosh. You do this at hotels, and I want to murder you. Go downstairs.
Why is this the first place you went? That's your biggest beef?
Sir.
Hey,
So,
something simple, huh?
Everybody poops.
With the door closed.
no. I feel claustrophobic in there.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Or I'll go to like tap it, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm like, what the hell?
Well, at least I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I almost thought about I saw this thing on advertising on social media. It was like a little golf game because like when men are in the toilet, they sit there for
No, I
like
got my
30 minutes
phone.
and 45 minutes because they have their
Yes.
phone. But I'm like,
Yeah.
you can actually play a little golf
While you're
I would never do that.
while you're
putt
That's
doo doo.
good.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. She
What's mine? Do I have something?
it'd be a whole nother
So
podcast.
when you don't take the trash out.
Yeah, when you forget and I gotta do it, dude, that bugs
That's
me.
only because I have to tell you to take the trash out.
Yeah, you know, it's always just trivial stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
Mine is.
No
I
one
mean,
asked you.
no,
First
yeah.
of all.
It's gonna open the door.
Let's go.
Mine is no matter how comfortable I am, as soon as I get comfortable sitting down anywhere, but usually at night to go to bed, lay my head on the pillow. Babe, can you go get me some water?
That's why I always before I go to bed, I always fill my water bottle up and I bring it.
Crystal.
So if this is every night, you should know now. Well, same thing for dinner.
Well, no, it's not always just water. It's
Okay.
just like
Like what?
something.
else?
I think you keep me guessing.
I love it. I love
Well,
it.
I'm sorry I've been like pregnant or with a newborn the past 5 years.
Yeah. Sorry, bearing your children.
Excuse me.
Yeah. But other than that, it's perfect.
Love you.
I had one question I was going to ask you. Let's see. This is from ChatGPT,
Okay.
Nice.
but it was I did
Don't
want
be
this.
telling people you got your.
No, this
questions
is
from
one I
Chat.
thought of it says, what advice would you give other entrepreneurs about maintaining a healthy family life?
It's deep.
Yeah. Family
good.
comes first.
Mm-hmm.
Family comes first. Like it's easier said than done because there are times
Where you have to make sacrifices so you can provide. Like,
yeah.
that is definitely a thing. But we preach this to our employees too. We're like, family comes first. So if there's an emergency or whatever that looks like, I mean, take care of your family, be with your family, like take care of yourself,
Mhm.
because work is always there. So
Yeah.
that's like for our
And-
employees.
And so since this is to entrepreneurs, so many people think they're starting a business and all they're doing is creating a job for themselves. And if you don't have time, like if you're truly starting a business, if you're truly doing that, again, you're going to work your tail off.
Yeah.
But if you can't, if you can't step away, if you have to neglect your family, then you're just created another job for yourself.
Mhm.
Like if to really start a business, you have to be able to start putting people and processes in place that it can run without you. Because that's the difference between starting a business and just creating a job for yourself. And so I was very intentional from the beginning of knowing that I wanted to be able to be a present father for my children and a present husband for my wife. So I, and also Corley just really preached delegation because I think she wanted me to be home.
I'm just really good at telling people what to do.
just as much. And so it's like, don't
So I know what your love language
don't
is.
wait too long to start delegating, to get help, to get
Yeah,
those things.
If you have the right people, let them do their job to make
Yeah.
you successful.
And in no shape, form, or fashion am I saying start a business, just hire people and then go play golf and hang out with your family all the time. It will fail. Like you got to be there. You
Right.
got to be present. You got to lead by example. But yeah, I think I've done a pretty good job of balancing being a present.
Is there any beef there?
husband, father.
Asked me like 3 years ago when he was traveling a lot. That was hard, but I mean, there have been definitely rough seasons to
Right.
it, and sacrifice. But I always knew, we both knew like the end game, like the return that we'd get from sowing these seeds, and we are now, super flexible. He can run home and have lunch or get off early or take off. It's just having your own business.
Also purposely found the office very close to our home.
Yes.
So
That
Oh,
helps.
nice.
It
Yeah.
really does. Yeah. Well, we were officed out of the home for a while, and I think we had like 6 employees at one point. And she was like,
In our
3 kids.
tiny little house.
Oh,
We had
wow.
6 employees
And she was
coming,
like,
and I was like, "This has to end.
They've
Like,
got to get out of the house.
Like, I am going crazy. I have 2 babies, and
I
there's
bet.
too many people here."
Yeah.
But it
That was your
fine.
biggest beef for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because then you had to make yourself look presentable because you
Yeah.
had, you know.
Well, I didn't, but
She was trying to run them out. Remember the shusher? Shh.
oh yeah, I was like, sorry,
baby
just trying to put
shusher.
the baby down.
No talking.
Well, I know I don't know if you talked about this. I know we talked about, you're talking about going through seasons. I know you recently went through some stuff. I don't know if something we'll talk about, but I know that's been
Yeah.
something that was kind of,
Yeah, so
it's got to, like, talking about sacrifices, and like I know you were trying to run a business with, and then, like I said, your wife comes first, so.
Yeah, in 21, when I was just found out we were pregnant with our fourth baby, was diagnosed with skin cancer, with melanoma, which was out of nowhere, super scary. Prayed about it, had the surgery for it in the second trimester because it was safe for the baby. Everything was fine. And then I was like watching, you know, doing scans in between. And then this year in January of 2022, I had a swollen lymph node. I'm sorry, 24. Had a swollen lymph node, went in, did a biopsy. Sure enough, the cancer was back. And so since January of this year, we've been like just fighting like hell. Like I have been like fighting like hell for this. And lots of therapies, conventional and holistic things. I just kind of threw the kitchen sink at it. And thankfully you were able to step away, and he took a sabbatical from work, and he had people that were there that could run it. And I mean, I'm just very thankful because I mean, there were really scary times where like I couldn't even walk. So he was there the whole time, and that was super important. And we just had the big surgery 3 weeks ago and got the good news that it's all dead. It all
That's
responded to
Yeah.
treatment, and I'm cancer free. So
It's awesome.
very thankful. God is good.
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing it, and like I was seeing it from
Yeah.
your post more, and Danielle would fill us in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, we were praying for you. So it was a lot, you know, so I'm sure it's
Yeah.
the loan from running a business. I guess that delegation thing, that probably helped you prepare for things like this, because
absolutely.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, there was a scan in there in like end of April, and the MD Anderson team read it, and they were like, "Oh, your cancer is spread everywhere. It's laughed at the immunotherapy. Like we need to do X, Y, and Z now." And I'm like, that doesn't sound right, you know. And but God had told me before that. God had told me like weeks before that, when I was so sick, I had confirmation from him that it was already dead. And I was like, I already had that piece. I was like, no, it's already dead. It's already dead. And then sure enough, I did a follow-up with one of my other doctors that I was seeing. I was seeing like 3 or 4 different doctors, just getting everyone's opinions. And he was like, Corley, you can't tell the difference between infection or cancer on a scan, and your tumor's infected. That's what they're seeing, I think. And so sure enough, did a rescan, took antibiotics, everything shrunk, and then surgery proved it even more. So
It's awesome.
Yeah. We were at MD Anderson this morning.
we were, yeah.
I learned today that MD doesn't stand for medical doctor of MD Anderson.
Like Monroe D. Anderson or
I
something.
never even knew what it stood for.
Now you do.
Monroe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough, man. Honestly, like this was
Yeah.
by far the hardest
Especially
season
with your
of
4 little
anything in my
ones
life.
too.
But yeah,
Yes. And that
Yeah.
was like the only times where I felt like weak. Like I am full of faith, and I have been able to cling to that. But the moments where I would feel like, oh my gosh, was like whenever I think about the kids. But God's faithful.
It's awesome.
He sustained me, and here we are. Now we got to tell everyone. We got to testify.
Yeah, no, it's good. I know
awesome.
you didn't know about, like we talked about that at the party. Like I had issues. I've been going to dermatologist, same guy since I was 17, 16. Every 6 months since then. I mean, I'm 41 now. I still go to him back at home in Louisiana.
You take
Yeah.
your pants off.
I strip
does it
down,
all.
dude. I mean,
Knows him probably better than what I know.
no, but like, you know,
He'll spot something.
but he's like in
that.
his 70s now.
Yeah.
I mean, he just dude's super active. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still going, but it's one of those things like, man, he's always telling me, he's like, man, you know, they got good doctor in Houston. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like,
He knows you.
he'd be
knows
like,
your
man, I
body.
didn't see that last time. And he's caught stuff. He goes through my hair. He's caught some in my head that I had to go get cut out bigger to make sure it didn't spread. Mine luckily have all been like mild atypia. I guess that's just pre.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of preventative, like even lately he goes, you need to start coming. He goes, man, the amount of moles you have in your body, he goes, he said the percent of what you have can turn into something, but then there's a big percent that can just pop up. He goes, so if you see anything, let me know. He's like, you need to start coming every 4 months, because 1 month early we can catch anything is a big deal.
It really is.
So that's like, man, I hate being in the sun. Like I'm always like,
Mm-hmm.
I put stuff on.
Yeah, rash
just 'cause
guards, hats.
it
And
just-
it's the thing that people, I mean, maybe this isn't true, but I never really thought skin cancer was like that big of a deal because
Yeah,
like
because
so many
back then
people
we
just
did
get it.
tanning beds
Yeah.
like galore.
And like when in 2021 you first had it, and she's like freaking out. I'm like, babe, it's just skin cancer.
But that's it's,
no. I've
yeah.
quickly learned
learn, yeah.
how.
Yeah, don't Google stage 3 melanoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
So the nurse of the doctor I've known her for years too, and she was telling me, she's like, they just recently had a 19-year-old in there. I told you that, like, she's like, that's the youngest I've seen
Wow.
so
I
far.
know.
I'm like,
So many
Yeah.
young people getting.
Yeah,
cancer
I mean,
more
it's
and
like
more.
one for every 2 people now. Like, it's and getting younger and younger. Like, it's insane.
yeah, and she's been doing this probably 30 years or longer, you know. So you can imagine
Yeah.
how much they've seen. And for her to say that just recently, got
Yeah.
a 19-year-old is like, man, that's just tough. I mean,
Yeah, it's more to do with like everything we're exposed to every day. You know, that's along this journey. That's the biggest thing I've learned is like we have to be actively detoxing every day because we are just exposed and taking in so much crap.
I blame foreign meat.
There you go.
it's got to do it.
That's why the kids are bigger these days because
Mhm.
So you did do some like new age stuff, right? I seen you were going to
Yes.
California.
Yeah.
You're doing like red light therapy or
Yeah, so like red light therapy, hyperbaric chambers.
what's hyperbaric chamber?
So it's just like this big hard shell chamber that you go into, and it's 100% oxygen.
It's
Lance Armstrong did it.
Yeah.
It simulates your body being like 30 feet underwater.
Yeah.
So it puts
Oh,
like the
wow.
pressure of like the water
Yeah.
of what like that.
Are you,
it's
are you claustrophobic? Was it
No,
tough?
it's all glass, so
Okay.
it's not
they
too
got
bad.
like a TV in there.
Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
actually nice.
There's a lot of high level athletes that have these at their house.
Yes, like, and it's also like
Me.
something that's on the rise for people who are trying to like live forever.
well, I think a lot of people do the red light stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
the red light is just good for you in general. I don't know what it does for your body, but a lot of people do that.
It creates
Makes your skin red.
new cells. It helps them fight things. It's good for everything.
Yeah.
Hyperbaric chamber, high dose vitamin C. I was doing like 75 grams of IV
Mistletoe
vitamin C,
injections?
mistletoe injections.
What was mistletoe?
What's
Jess?
mistletoe? Yeah, what's mistletoe?
Yeah, tell 'em about that.
Mistletoe is it's not from the plant itself, but it's an extraction. It's like a little vial, and it stimulates an immune response. So similar to like what immunotherapy is for cancer, it
Mhm.
teaches your immune system to fight and kill the cancer. Mistletoe is a natural way to do that, and so doing all of these therapies just like complements whatever else, chemo or whatever else you need to do. It helps them work better, and
It's like an activator or like
Mhm. Yeah.
like those bioregulator kind of things.
Yeah, because that's what
big.
happens whenever you have cancer. Your immune system is not.
Yes.
Everyone has cancer cells, and so your immune system, if it's healthy and active, it's killing them. I mean, I have a theory about mine. I feel like I was pregnant for 5 years essentially in
You're
a row.
welcome.
It takes 2 of y'all though.
You're welcome.
We figured out what was happening and we
Stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so when you're pregnant, your immune system is suppressed because of the baby. You're taking care of the baby. Everything's
Yes.
going to the baby, and I just feel like that was like kind of like there are studies on it actually specifically with melanoma and
Really?
yeah. And so I'm like, that makes sense. Like I've been pregnant all this time and just had a time to like kind of like grow. But now like I have all these tools, and so now I'm in like my prevention protocol, and I'll continue a lot of these things and just stay ahead of it.
And thankfully she went to the dermatologist. She only went to the dermatologist because I had a cyst on my side that was just a cyst and got it removed and no big deal. But she made and I had that thing for years, and the way I grew up, we didn't go to the doc. I didn't even know I can't spell dermatologist, let alone go there. So
Yeah.
she made an appointment and it's like, you're going to, and I was like, it's fine, it's nothing. But so go to the dermatologist, and while we're there, she's like, I guess you might as well look at me too. And
Meaning her.
and yes,
Yeah.
her. Yeah. So
It was just a mole.
because it was on her leg, and
Mole in the
and
back of
then
my
she was
leg.
like, oh, that doesn't look good, and did a removal, and then sent it off for biopsy, and so you're welcome for my cyst.
Yeah, thank you. sis.
Yeah, it's just crazy how that,
But with skin cancer, it is like the number one thing is prevention. And so people that don't go to the dermatologist, go to the dermatologist. Like,
Oh, I
it's
know.
so important.
Yeah, it's
I've never been
important.
to a dermatologist. I need to go there.
I told her, I was like, dude,
Why don't you make an appointment with him?
I told you should be
Yeah,
going.
go see his old man.
Yeah.
Does it be the tanning
you
beds?
get butt ass naked with him too.
Hmm?
You get butt ass naked too.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got to see
I
everything.
mean, he's 70. I mean, you've seen it all.
Corley has a woman that she sees if you want
Oh.
her number.
She's great.
I guess I just never. I mean, I don't know. I just.
I've always told her, I'm like, you should, especially with, like, I think about my kids. I'm like, man, I want to get them in early because
Yeah.
Just so they can like document like
just
their
to-
moles.
yeah,
And
because
you
I was
can
like,
watch
hopefully get somebody young or somebody that they could, like how I did. I got
Yeah.
lucky
Yeah.
being with a guy for
Yeah.
30 years, dang near. I mean, 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
that's my goal for 2024.
There you go. Go to the dermatologist.
So before Crystal asks her question, so what's new on the vision board for Good Ranchers going forward? What do you guys, anything future that y'all been talking about that you feel like it's your plans or?
Yeah, I mean we're always thinking, but if I'm really honest, the first half of this year, I mean, just rocked us
Yeah.
with Corley
This
and
is all we were
being sick and
thinking about.
I took sabbatical for about 6 weeks and then came back in. Kind of thought I was coming back in part time, and then things got worse. And there was a season where there was probably a season where she couldn't walk, she couldn't get out of bed for weeks on ends, and we just had the surgery 3 weeks ago. So like we're happy to be here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
like that's where we're looking. Like I've since starting the business, I've been so, what's the future? What's the future? What's the future? And honestly, this has really made me go, what's the present?
Yeah.
Cancer or sickness, I should say disease, is a great equalizer. It really makes you put into perspective, like really pull the perspective of where am I spending my time? Because you can always make more money, but you can't buy more time. And nobody says on their deathbed, I wish I'd have made more money. You say, I wish I'd have spent more time. And
we have a friend, Matt Jones. He's a pastor of the City Mark Church, and we just recently went there just to go see him. And he talked about one thing there about he was like, hey, everybody's busy. You're busy doing this and this and that. He goes, you need to make sure you think about the now and things like that and what's important before God does something that halts it, before he does something to make you really think that. And that was one of the things that hits home. We had lunch after that a couple of days later, and I kind of asked him, I was like, man, we're busy with kids. He's like, man, I wasn't meaning like super literal about that, but there's things, he had a child that was born with a tumor or something like that. He goes, we were rolling in Cincinnati. It's a big church we were doing, and then that put a big halt and took things in perspective versus what they had, the big plans of everything. He's like,
sure.
So it was, you hear that, and it's like, man, it really hits home about what you're doing and thinking, and you try to slow down before something really rocks your world. And
Yeah, because that's life. No one's guaranteed an easy life.
But and the Bible's very clear on this. You're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, today, and it doesn't mean that you should live willy-nilly. You should definitely make plans, but at the same time, like, we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised. We don't know what next week, what next month. Like, you just can't take for granted. I think it's so easy to get into this. Well, I'll do that later. I'll do that later, or we'll go here. I'll do that with the family later. If you don't make time if you don't make time for things, then they're not important to you.
Yeah.
Period.
No, yeah. I believe that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, and I like to say, I didn't make time for it, or I haven't made time for it, rather than I don't have time, because we all have the same amount of time.
Yeah.
And you make the time for the things that are important. So show me where you spend your time, and I'll show you what your priorities are.
Yep.
Good.
I love
Write
it.
it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and write all this down. I love all these quotes.
Yeah.
John Maxwell.
Especially the run in the truck one. Those are favorite.
Yeah. John Maxwell, Michael
Yeah.
Scott, Wayne Gretzky.
All right, so the last and final question I ask
Oh, Lord.
each couple is,
Oh, Lord.
what is your number one marriage advice?
Marriage advice. Don't play piano in the morning.
Dude, play some seal, not scale.
Not scales.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I need to tell people that are like dating or looking to date, you need to think about what life actually really looks like with everything we've walked through with having lots of kids and having a business and going through cancer. Like, you better make sure that person is strong and going to support you through all of it, you know, through sickness and health. And I'm so thankful that I chose the right person. I couldn't imagine doing this with anyone else. And there was times when I was so weak, but you were strong for me, and it was just so important. And so mine's like premarital advice, but just make sure.
I think
like
the best marriage advice is pre-marriage advice.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get. It's not going to change.
It's
Right.
It doesn't get
It's-
easier.
it's
It
not-
doesn't get
It
easier.
didn't get better. If you had problems before you got married, get married is not going to fix
If
it.
dating is hard,
Right.
like
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, we just told my
Your cousin.
cousin. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to think about it.
Young.
We just told my cousin.
Yeah, because if you're like just into like back and forth into breakups, you know, it's not what makes you think that's going to be healthy if
Yeah.
y'all were to get married, you know.
especially as adults.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
one thing when you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're young and you don't you're learning and you don't know.
I
But
mean, we
like,
were together from the moment that we met. We were together every day, and to this day, we still like being together.
Love
you know,
that.
like
Yeah. No, it's,
That-
Yeah.
we.
that's the best marriage advice you can get. If
yeah,
you,
we
if
like
you don't
we love doing things together. Like we
Mhm.
hate doing stuff without. Like I might do a little with my girlfriend, or he might go play golf. But like we enjoy doing stuff together. Like, hey, if we're gonna go do something with a couple,
even with our kids, we did everything
we
with our
did.
kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
To where they're
Yeah.
well adjusted because they've been around.
Yep.
They've seen stuff. They've done stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I like to tell people is like, man, just you gotta like one day the kids ain't gonna be here, so you gotta that happened. A lot of couples, like we had a marriage counselor on, and she talked about how much you've seen that couples during COVID that didn't make it, the ones that were always gone or never together, then they were kind of
Yeah.
forced to be together, and those like they realized they
Close
weren't
setting for so
compatible
long, yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
and we actually enjoyed it. I was like, I actually enjoyed it.
yeah, I was home. I was cooking stuff every day,
yeah,
doing stuff.
making
and-
the pop-up
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah. Doing TikTok videos.
yeah.
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 No, that's exactly right. And modeling for your kids, like for me, I try to. Our oldest son is 6, and just the other day, like he got a little sassy with Corley, and he's 6, but he kind of like clenched his fist because she told him to do something, and he like really copped an attitude, and I'd never done this before, but I made sure he understood that she's my wife, not just his mom.
Yeah.
And I referred to her for the first time as my wife, and I said, "Don't you ever respect my wife like that?
Disrespect.
Disrespect."
Yeah.
Well,
I know we do that sometimes too, because I'm like, whenever you want your kids to talk to you like that? No, then don't talk to me like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. They're listening to everything.
that. Right.
Yeah, but man, you asked us to give the best marriage advice.
You just
you
mic
just
dropped
gave it. Find somebody that
Boom,
you
mic
that-
You like to be
find
around.
somebody that you can poop with the door open.
Yes, exactly.
She deep down she loves
And
it.
take the trash out.
Yeah. No, find somebody you want to spend time with and
Yeah.
that you don't get tired of. Like, I mean, again, we definitely.
I know, because there's some people that are like, I mean, yes, he might get annoying to me, like he might bug me or I might get mad, but it's not like I not want to stop
Yes.
not being with him,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's just
second year
silly
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few before surgery, and again, this year's just been so crazy and hard with still trying to run the business from afar and just things, and then the kids with her being like immobile for weeks on
Yeah.
end as it was just like daddy, and her mom's been around and been great, but her mom's not mom or dad, so
Right.
it's like just the emotional toll on me was pretty heavy, and so knowing that the surgery was like 2 days later, like she was because she's amazing. I was like, I just gotta like, I need to get away from everybody. I don't need anybody asking me a question. Like, I was just like at my, not breaking point, but like, I just need silence. No one asking me to do anything.
Well, it's a lot, yeah, because kids love to call mom versus dad.
Yes.
Dad can be right there, but he'd be like, go tell mom or go ask mom, you know.
But
So
it took them all of 3.2 seconds to realize she wasn't responding. And then,
yeah,
Go to dad.
daddy. And so, anyway, I said that to say, I went. It was a Friday night, and I went to dinner by myself.
Did you go to Taco Bell?
Right?
Yes, exactly. No, I went to a restaurant and I just sat there, and it was like as soon as I pulled up, I was like, God, I wish Corley was with me.
Yeah.
Like, it was so hard for me to even go, because you were like, you should just go. You should just take some time to yourself. And like that the day before we talked about it, and we said that I would do that, and then the day came and I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, when you get there, you're
I was
just
like, no, I just want to
yeah.
be here with you. Like, and I really did. And then, but she was like, no, you need to go. And I was like, okay. So, and then, but the whole time, and then so I wound up like writing down the whole night, like things that I was thinking about that I wanted to talk to her about, or like say, or just things. And because I didn't even really know like what to do with myself being alone.
You just went through your photos and just like, Corley.
Yeah.
We played some golf recently too, so that was good.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That's some bro time.
It was
Bro
fun.
time.
Yeah, I kicked your butt on the
I
front
know.
nine.
I know.
We won't talk about.
Is he
We
good?
won't talk about the back nine.
Yeah.
Yeah. For as little as I play, I do okay.
Yeah. No, you're swinging
Oh
well.
wow, and he beat you.
No, front nine.
Okay.
Front
Oh,
nine.
front
Front
nine.
nine. Front nine.
Front, back nine I turned it on.
Yeah, he did.
You're like,
Dude.
all right, game
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm trying to let him feel good.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, thank y'all for coming on.
Yes, thanks for coming, y'all.
This
Enjoyed
is-
it.
Having us.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad to sit down and talk to you guys more than we always see each other kind of passing or
Yeah.
get-togethers.
Of course.
For sure.
I've been around y'all more just because we've been on trips and stuff. But yeah, we appreciate the
Yes.
Good Ranchers group.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. And this was so much fun. Like, it's funny how in the technological world in which we live, sometimes you can get to know each other more.
Just-
I know. Well, like, even though,
It's
like I said,
just
this is kind of like when we
sitting
do
around.
like our one-on-ones, me and her. Like, this is kind of like we talk more,
It's kind of therapeutic.
and it is kind of
Right,
like a
'cause you-
therapy thing because we kind of
Yeah.
it's like we're not scared. Like we kind of put it all out there,
Yeah.
like because people want to hear that.
Right.
Mhm.
But I'd say we have more intentional conversations on here
Right.
sometimes versus
Yeah.
in the real world. You think, but
Yeah.
it's just. But I feel like people want to hear stuff from real couples about real
Yeah.
things that everybody
sure.
deals with. Like even think like just like going to a church, you hear a pastor talking about something. Usually them guys say, "Man, I'm preaching to myself," but everybody gets something from that because everybody's going through the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And how rarely do we just get in a room with no
Yeah.
phones or technology, except for Mangus over here.
Yeah.
But,
I think he's
But-
playing Fortnite.
but I'm saying, how rarely have y'all heard the term? I mean, you've got teenagers, but have y'all heard the term raw dogging an airplane ride?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
What?
So when you're sitting on a plane, like you watch no screen, have no phone. Like Jerry O'Connell just posted a thing about it.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, no screen, no phone, no water.
Yeah.
which that's a little much.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I gotta have a ginger ale
Well,
on a
that's
plane.
like when
I gotta
you go
have my
on
ginger ale on a
whenever
plane.
we,
That's
that's
the only
like
place I
whenever
drink
we
it.
go on a
Same.
cruise, like he has to have service, but I don't. So it's actually like,
Well, I'm in
it
the- I'm
actually
in-
is kind of like enjoyable. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just having.
Yeah, I'm in the
like,
oil and
pictures.
gas. Is like
You have to
in the
yeah.
service
Yeah.
industry, so we got like it
gotta
just
do.
don't
Yeah.
it don't turn off, but it's
yeah. She thought I made up the raw dog in the flight earlier this morning when I told her about
Like,
It sounds nasty
What
when
are
you
you
say
reading?
raw dog.
what are you
no, it's really funny.
Would John Maxwell
Right?
Booker
I
he?
know. Did he take a turn?
That
for
was
worse?
the After Dark book.
Yeah.
Okay.
it. Exactly. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun.
Yep,
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
that was episode 23.
That's right.
So
Let's go.
Yay.
appreciate y'all, and we are done.